I lied to my in-laws about where we were moving to. My mother-in-law Carol tried to buy us a house without asking, so I told her we bought a houseboat on a sewage pond. The real estate agent sounded confused when she called asking to confirm our offer on the Maple Street Colonial. My mouth went completely dry. We never made any offer. Carol did. I hung up and sat at the kitchen table with shaking hands, spreading out the paperwork she'd somehow sent to the agent. Nathan walked in and found me there, just staring at pages that had our signatures on them. Signatures we never signed. Your mom tried to buy us a house, I said. He grabbed the papers and his face went from confused to horrified as he read. What? This whole nightmare started 3 months ago when we mentioned house hunting at Sunday dinner. I watched Carol's eyes light up like we just announced a pregnancy. From that moment on, every single Sunday became an interrogation over pot roast. She'd lean across the table asking what neighborhoods we liked, what our budget was, how many bedrooms we wanted. I kept telling her we'd handle it ourselves, but she'd just nod and smile like I hadn't spoken at all. First, she created a spreadsheet with dozens of houses and shared it with the entire family. Then Gary started driving around on Saturdays taking photos of random houses. Beth ranked schools for kids we don't have. Doug sent us color-coded commute maps. The worst part was when Carol would corner me at the sink after dinner, and I'd smell that too sweet perfume that made my stomach turn while she'd whisper, "Just tell me the neighborhood. I promise I won't interfere." She'd already toured 5 houses with agents who thought she was me. "Tomorrow," I told Nathan, feeling weirdly calm all of a sudden, "I'm calling your mother with the worst news of her life." Monday morning, 8 a.m. sharp, my heart was pounding as I dialed Carol's number. "We bought our dream home," I said, forcing excitement into my voice. She squealed so loud I had to pull the phone away. "Where?" "Send photos." "What street?" "It's on the water." "The Lake District?" "Oh honey, that's wonderful." "Not the lake. The retention pond behind the sewage treatment plant. It's a houseboat. We move in 4 weeks." The silence was so complete I could hear my own heartbeat. Then the phone clattered to what sounded like their kitchen floor. Gary's voice boomed in the background. Beth was screaming something about cholera. My stomach hurt from holding in laughter. Carol came back on, breathing like she'd run a marathon. This has to be a joke. Already signed the papers. Within an hour, they'd formed Operation Stop the Boat. Doug sent screenshots of their group chat, and I had to bite my lip to keep from cackling. They'd assigned roles. Carol would research health hazards. Gary would investigate legal issues. Beth would document environmental disasters. 43 calls in 2 hours. My phone vibrated itself off the table. Voicemails of Carol sobbing about dysentery. Gary texting maritime law articles. Beth sending photos of pond scum with "your new neighbors" written across them. Carol tagged me in houseboat disaster articles on Facebook. Someone started a GoFundMe called Save Nathan from Sewage. She emailed my boss a massive PowerPoint titled "Please Talk Sense Into Her." The first week was insane. Carol showed up at 5 a.m. with a nurse who explained parasites while I tried not to laugh into my coffee. Carol handed her $200 cash, and the poor woman practically ran to her car. Gary filed complaints about the pond with the city. They called me confused since no one could legally live there anyway. By the second week, things got worse. Nathan called me from work, his voice shaking with suppressed laughter. My dad just showed our client slides about flesh-eating bacteria. Security dragged him out, but the projector's still running. His entire office watched 20 minutes of disease presentations. His boss suggested we take time off. Then it turned creepy. A private investigator started following us everywhere. I could see him taking photos as we bought milk. Carol thought we were secretly house hunting. Doug brought his sewage plant model to dinner, pouring chocolate milk through it while declaring, "This is your water supply." He destroyed Carol's carpet. She didn't even notice, too busy sobbing into her hands. "Maybe we should tell them," Nathan whispered that night. 3 more days, I whispered back. The final week before moving day was complete chaos. Carol chained herself to our door. The fire department had to come. Gary live-streamed it, calling it "A Mother's Love," and got 3,000 views. Beth interviewed our confused neighbors about water safety. Moving day finally arrived, and Carol followed our truck the entire way, crying so hard I could see her wiping her eyes in my rearview mirror. We pulled up to the address I'd given them, and I watched her stumble out of her car at the sewage pond. She stood there staring at that disgusting green water, whispering "no" over and over while her hands shook. Nathan pointed to the street sign behind her. "Carol, look at the sign." She turned around and saw our actual house at the other end of the same street. White fence, normal garden, absolutely no sewage in sight. Her legs buckled and she hit the ground, laughing and sobbing at the same time.